Hello and welcome to Coaster Waffle, one of the best channels on YouTube, full stop, in our opinion. And today we're going to be discussing, will the world of Jumanji be good or crap?
Those of you that don't know, Chessington World of Adventures is a theme park in Chessington.
Wow!
So, usually, this park caters to the family market, but with this new roller coaster, it is clear they are heading into the thrill market as it contains an inversion.
Wow, that will have all of the GP extremely excited.
No, they won't ride it because they're too scared. Ooh, goes upside down, scary.
So, the main attraction point of this new themed area is, of course, the roller coaster named Mandrill Mayhem. Now, this name is just a bit naff, isn't it? Like, I've seen the design for the ride cars and they look really good, but the name Mandrill Mayhem, it's just...
I don't know what they were thinking with this one, alliteration, very creative, but I don't know, I've just got so many mixed emotions about this. It's just such a bad name.
Yeah, it's just like, why call it Mandrill Mayhem? It just sounds like a children's ride with a scary inversion. Anyway, I think after it opens, people will go from calling this Mandrill Mayhem to Mandrill Midhem. I mean, it's just not a very ambitious ride. It's good for the family thrill market, but it doesn't do much more than that, in my opinion. Although, to be fair, it does have the special treat of going backwards. So that may be a redeeming factor, but we'll have to wait and ride it next year.
Yeah, but the disadvantage of the fact that it is a shuttle coaster is, the park itself is very low throughput. The queues are always huge, so the park really should have gone for something with a high throughput. So, the other rides are a bit less pressured by this coaster. Whereas now, because this is low throughput as well, it's literally just going to be queue mayhem. Not Mandrill Mayhem, queue mayhem.
Wow, that was a creative play on words. Subscribe for more.
The roof of the attraction is corrugated iron.
Wow, that is creativity at its finest.
Why is it just like some random building as well?
It just doesn't make sense with the theme, like it's on about mandrills and then there's a building and then it's a jungle and then you're in the south, which is obviously a bad thing.
It's just a bit confusing. There's so many mixed messages with this ride. Just... why? Just think, Chessington, think!
However, we also can't ignore the other flat rides coming to this area. The first one being Ostrich Stampede.
I didn't even know ostriches... don't they just like run around in herds? I won't call it a stampede.
Why not something like Ostrich bury your head in the sand and pretend this never happened?
Why does this ride exist? This is just strange.
It's just a rebranded fairground ride at the end of the day, nothing special. But then, moving on to the other flat ride, Mamba Strike. I mean, it's just a fairground ride with a big snake. It may be worth mentioning that at this moment in time, we have no idea how long these ride cycles are going to be.
If they have long cycles, it will be very enjoyable, but will not solve the issue of throughput that Chessington is having.
That is definitely a big issue. And don't forget, when you're bored of all the rides, you can always ride, well, it's not even a ride, but it's listed as a ride on the website, the Jungle Maze.
Wow, what a great attraction. Chessington have put all the thought into this. You can just see the brain power emanating in this project. So smart.
Honestly, please unretire John Wardley. Please, I beg you, mate. I beg you, if you're watching this, right, please. We need you.
What went into creating this area? Like, genuinely, this is just dim. They've not solved any of the issues the park's having, and they've gone into a market that perhaps Chessington shouldn't have considered. This is Very interesting, and I'd like to see how this choice will pan out financially for Chessington.
Although what we do have to say is this area does look like it's going to be immaculately themed. Just like that massive jaguar head. Even the rides are quite well themed, to be fair, and I think it will definitely be a good addition to the park.
If the theming's anything like Crocodile Drop, I will be very impressed.
Yeah, so I think overall it will be a good addition to the park, and I think we'll definitely have a trip out there next season. Although, in all fairness, the names are a bit rubbish, so let's hope they've not finalised these concepts, even though they almost certainly have.
Anyway, I'm sure the children can overlook these flaws, and only us enthusiasts will be left to cry over these strange, to say the least, choices.
To say all we have to critique is the name choice and capacity, though. It should be very good for the park and for us enthusiasts. Anyway, moving on to the random roller coaster review section. This is the section where we find a random roller coaster on RCDB and we say whether we would ride and talk about, well, what the ride is.
First up, after we refresh the page, is the roller coaster that goes by the name Shockwave Riders.
This is made by Jinma Rides and it operates in China.
This actually looks quite interesting. I mean, I'm intrigued. Is this a family roller coaster or
I think
thrill?
At 31 miles per hour, you're not getting much more than a kiddie coaster, really, but it's got a vertical spike on it, which is definitely a bizarre concept, and it will definitely be one that's on my list if I ever end up in China. Next up is All Speed at Sunakland Chengdu.
Butchered that one as usual.
Correct. In China again. Now, this is made by Intamin, and it definitely looks like an interesting ride.
You see, I would actually like to ride this. This looks very interesting, and the theming is actually very immaculate.
Yeah, overall, I'd say it's a good roller coaster, and I think this is definitely a park that we will get to whenever we do end up in China. Anyway, the final random roller coaster is Loop Coaster in Japan. We've had a bit of an Asian themed one.
Not like by choice. These are all random,
as the name of this section would imply, but this looks a bit naff, to be honest. It's defunct. It's made by someone who I've never heard of.
Meisho Amusement Machines. Although this ride certainly doesn't look like a machine, it just looks like your standard sort of shuttle coaster with a loop. Not all that interesting, to be quite honest, but I would still probably ride it if it was close by and I had the opportunity to. So, can't complain.
Unfortunately, it is closed down and on the other side of the world, so it's not working out too well for you there, is it, Mark?
No, unfortunately. Very sad.
Anyway, that concludes the random roller coaster review. Anyway, in today's GP of the week, we bring you news that there is an imposter among us.
That is very sus indeed.
And this imposter has revealed himself in the mirror. I mean, your thoughts on this newspaper depend on just how left-wing you are, but our opinion of this newspaper is not what we are talking about today. We are talking about the abomination of this man's choice of their top roller coasters. Number 2 in the world is Nemesis at Alton Towers.
Now, I will agree, Nemesis is a beautiful, incredible attraction, but there is definitely some British bias in this.
Yes, which is definitely more evident down the list. Also, we have his number 5 favourite roller coaster, Hypercoaster at Land of Legend in Turkey.
This is a good roller coaster, I will give him that. But number 5 in the entire world, seriously, there are better roller coasters than that.
And then the most shocking choice, at number 8 in the world, is Wild Mouse at Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
Well, I've got 2 issues with this choice. 1, why is it here? And 2, it's defunct, it's not even open.
Number 9, Cyclone in New York. And 10, Iron Gwazi.
Now, what runs through your head to put Iron Gwazi at number 10? I mean, come on, RMCs should be your at least in the top 3, in my opinion. They are the epitome of what the enthusiast wants, and that's why there is definitely an imposter among us.
Well, look, in all seriousness, this man has strange taste in roller coasters, but really, it's down to what you enjoy, and if the Blackpool Wild Mouse is your favourite roller coaster when you've ridden Iron Gwazi, then that's down to you, isn't it? But really, just go out there, enjoy roller coasters, and I mean, we really can't criticise him that much, to be fair. He's a brave man to voice such
controversial views.
I think that is one way of putting it. Anyway, if Blackpool's Wild Mouse is not in your top 10 roller coasters in the world, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe and enable notifications so you get to watch every single new video on this channel when it goes live for the rest of your life. Anyway, I'm sorry for shamelessly plugging to you. Just subscribe and no one shall get hurt. Right, that's a joke. That's a joke. Anyway, before I say anything else which is incriminating, thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Adios.
Amigos.